Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The duration of the two parts of Brahma's life, as above mentioned, is calculated to be equal to 1 nimisha, the less than a second, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unchanging and unlimited, and is the cause of all causes of the universe. Purport. The great sage Maitreya has given a considerable description of the time of different dimensions, beginning from the atom up to the duration of the life of Brahma. Now he attempts to give some idea of the time of the unlimited personality of Godhead. He just gives a hint of his unlimited time by the standard of the life of Brahma. The entire duration of the life of Brahma is calculated to be less than a second of the Lord's time, and it is explained in the Brahma Samhita as follows. Yassik nishvashit kalam athabalambya jivanti lome vijala jagdandanatha Vishnur mahan saya yaskala vishesho govindam adi purusham tam aham bhajami. I worship Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, whose plenary portion is Mahavishnu. All the heads of the innumerable universes, the Brahmas, live only by taking shelter of the time occupied by one of his breaths. The impulseless do not believe in the form of Lord, and thus they would hardly believe in the Lord's sleeping. Their idea is obtained by poor fund of knowledge. They calculate everything in terms of man's capacity. They think that the existence of the Supreme is just the opposite of active human existence. Because the human being has senses, the Supreme must be without sense perception. Because the human being has a form, the Supreme must be formless. And because the human being sleeps, the Supreme must not sleep. Srimad Bhagavatam, however, does not agree with such impulse. It is clearly stated herein that the Supreme Lord rests in Yoga Nidra, as previously discussed. And because he sleeps, naturally he must breathe. And the Brahma Samhita confirms that within his breathing period, innumerable Brahmas take birth and die. There is a complete agreement between Srimad Bhagavatam and the Brahma Samhita. Eternal time is never lost along with the life of Brahma. It is continuous, but it has no ability to control the Supreme Personality of Godhead because Lord is a controller of time. In the spiritual world, there is undoubtedly time, but it has no control over activities. Time is unlimited, and the spiritual world is also unlimited, since everything there exists on the absolute plane. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta Parvat. Kaloyam dvi parar धाख्यो निमेष उपचर्यते अव्याकृतस्यानन्तस्या Hai nadir jagat atmana. So kalo ayam. So the kalo ayam means this time. Which time? Dui parardha. Par ardha. Ardha means half. So the Brahma's life is being divided into two parts. So Dui par ardha akhyo on is called or is designated by Nimesha Upacharyati, and is a Nimesha or less than a second, whose Abhya Kirtasya Anantasya. So the Lord is being referred Anantasya or Abhya Kirtasya or Anadhir or Jagat Atmana. Four adjectives being used for the Lord reference here. So that Lord Nimesha Upacharyate, which is the previous verses connection, Kaloyam Dvi Parardhakyo. So the Brahmas, the whole life is being designated or calculated or denoted here by Nimesha of the Lord. So beautiful purport. A lot of points are there. Let's try to cover some of them. So the description is, who is explaining to whom this? Maitreya Rishi to Vidura. Vidura had asked a lot of questions, and gradually, one by one, Maitreya Rishi is being explaining the descriptions, and which goes on few of contours. So as we have seen, and Prabhupada is recapping many things in this purport, beginning from the atomic time. And atomic time was sun covering an atom is called atomic time. Up to the duration of the Brahma's life, called universal time, being described. Now, as we have discussed before, the relative time systems are there. So even for our 1 month is divided into the two parts. Now, what is called? Shukla Paksh and Krishna Paksh. So our 1 day, 1 month is equal to 1 day of Pitraloka. Pitraloka, or we have the ancestors, is called Pitras. So there, 1 month is 1 day. 1 year is 1 day of demigods. So like this related time systems goes on, and after the Swarga Loka, all the four Maharjan Tapsat, all the lokas, the time of Brahma time goes on. Then the same time work on Maharjan Tapsat. There is no differential time in those four planets. So after describing the time on this material world, now Maitreya is giving hint about the time of Vishnu. So now he attempts to give some idea of the time of the unlimited personality of Godhead. This time is there. We say time is there, but the different concept or what we understand by time is different. Here is called Kalosmi Log Chay Kirtha. So here time is called destroyer. Now you take one apple, few days, if you do not eat, it's rot. Flower you keep, anything in this world. You make a house, it will be there for some time, it will destroy. So the time, the Kala in this material world, which is the impersonal energy of Krishna, which works for destroying. So any material thing will not last. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata. That's the region in this material world is called asat. Asat means which has no permanent existence. So running behind which is asat is called useless. It's called illusory is being mentioned. So he just gives a hint of his unlimited time by the standard of the life of Brahma. So here Mitra Rishi is comparing the time of the Lord, one nimisha, with the duration of Brahma's life. So the entire duration of life Brahma is calculated to be less than a second of the Lord's time. Yashik Nishtvashit Kalam Ath Aulambya. Last class we have discussed in detail. Jivanti Loma Bijla Jagadandanatha. So, and there are innumerable Brahmas are there, not one Brahma. As is being described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, as we know, once Brahma goes to Dwarka, when Krishna was ruling on Dwarka, he was existing on this planet. That time, many demigods used to come and get the blessings of the Lord. So it so happens, Brahma goes to meet the Lord to Dwarka. So in the Dwarka, that time you may find many demigods are roaming here and there, going to the Krishna's palace. So once Brahma goes, and he wants to have one audience with the Lord. So the doorkeepers goes inside to inform the Lord. And Lord messaged to Lord Brahma that ask him which Brahma it is. No, which Brahma has come. So when Brahma got to know, he was a little surprised. Why are you asking, Lord? I am Brahma. I am the creator of this universe. Why are you asking which Brahma? But anyway, he said, Chaturmukhi Brahma, or the father of 4 Kumaras. So when the doorkeeper of Dwarka palace informs to Krishna, Krishna understood and asked doorkeeper to please allow Brahma to come in. So as Krishna knew the mind of Brahma, because he was thinking, I am the very great personality, I am alone. So when he goes inside, by the yogic power, Lord invited all the Brahmas from all the planets, all the universes. And by the yogic power of Krishna, they were not able to see each other. Only this Brahma, Chaturmukhi Brahma, could able to see all other Brahmas. So all Brahmas, when he went inside, he saw there are many Brahmas having many heads. Our Brahma have 4 heads. There are some Brahma 5, 6, 10. And Bhagavatam says it goes to millions, billions, trillions. Because our Brahmanda, Prabhupada described, is the most simplest Brahmanda. So 4 head is okay, good enough to manage. But if more complicated Brahmanda, so he has to create for many heads are required. So anyway, so all these Brahmas were coming and paying obeisance to Krishna, and he says, please accept my obeisances, please be merciful unto me. Krishna is asking, how is going on? Yes, everything is going on fine, please go away. So all the Brahmas, this Brahma was then the backside and seeing all those many Brahmas are coming. Then he understood his position is very tiny. So even Brahma's position is our Brahma is very tiny compared to other Brahmas. And all these Brahmas, they also live nimesha. Eka ek nishvashit kalam. So they are also comparison, their life is also very, very tiny. So Prabhupada is writing in this purport, everything in spiritual is unlimited. Like we say, na, bhakti is no end, unlimited. So there everything is unlimited. Even beautifully, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, he mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, Krishna Vatsera Asankhyate Sukhdeva Vani Krishna Sange Kat Gop Sankhya Nahi Jani. So Krishna Vatsera, how many Krishna has their calves? Vatsera means calves. Asankhyaiti, it's called Asankhya, means unlimited, uncountable. Sukhdeva Vani, that is given by the Sukhdeva Goswami. There's no limit. So that's the reason when Brahma is stolen the Krishna's friend, cowherd boys, and the calves called Brahma Leela. And Krishna has created them, and when Brahma, after a moment, he saw, he said, again they are there. So he start counting. Who start counting? Brahma. He start counting the calves. As many I took, are they are there or less or more? When he start counting, Brahma's counting is not our counting. No? Brahma can count how many bacteria are there in the universe, how many mosquitoes are there, which no scientist can count. But when Brahma started counting, he was unable to count the calves of Brahma, calves of Krishna. Then he understood it's beyond something else. So he says, Krishna Vatsera Asankhyate Sukhdeva Vani Krishna Sange Kat Gopa Sankhya Nahi Jani. According to Sukhdeva Goswami, Krishna had unlimited calves and cowherd boys with him. Even the cowherd boys also unlimited. No one could count their actual number. Not only Krishna, ek gopa kare e vats charana. So each cowherd boys has a set of calves. They are, for each cowherd boy have a separate set of calves which they herd in the spiritual world. And it says, ek gopa kare e vats charan koti arbud sank padam tahar garana. So it says that each of the cowherd boy was standing calves to the extent of koti, arbuda, sankha, padma. This is the way of counting. So now, like in Hindi also is there, no? Some we have read sankha, padam, like this. So that has been mentioned in the scriptures. So that counting is very, very, das, sat, sahasra, ayuta. Ayuta means 10,000. Sahasra means 1,000. Sat means 100. Dasa means 10. Like this, a different name called laksha. Then arbuka means 10 koti. So these are the different names have been made. So that's it. And Krishna's not only calves, not the cowherd boys, not each cowherd boys is unlimited, but he says, Betra Venu Dal Srang Bastra Alankar Gopa Garen Yat Tar Nahi Lekha Par. So it says that all the cowherd boys has unlimited calves. Similarly, their canes, flutes, lotus flower, horns, garments, ornaments were all unlimited, uncountable. They cannot be limited by writing about them. Ila Chaturbuj Vaikunther Pati Prithak Prithak Brahmandir Brahma Kare Suti. So, this is when Brahma start counting, when he says all cowherd boys and the calves, they assume the form of four-ended form of Vishnu. And they all, and it is said that the cowherd boys then became four-handed Narayana, predominating deities of Vaikuntha planet. All the separate Brahma from different universes began to offer their prayers to the Lord. When the Lord they saw, Ek Krishna Deh Hete Sabir Prakasi Chanike Savai Se Sarire Praveshe. So all the transcendental bodies emanating from the body of Krishna, within a second, they all entered again into the body of the Lord. So they wanted to say that this all the Vishnu form is nothing but the expansion of Krishna. Iha dekhi Brahma haile mohita Bismit Sruti kare e pache karle nischita. So when the Lord Brahma from this universe saw this pastime, he was astonished and struck with wonder. After offering his prayers, he gave the following conclusion. Now Brahma is saying conclusion. He is saying, E kahe Krishner Bebhav Muni Sab Jano. E kahe, who says, Krishner Bebhav. Muni means I. Saba Jano, I know everything about Krishna. Se Janu ka Kai Mane Muni Ei Mano. So it says, Lord Brahma says, if someone says that he knows everything about Krishna's opulence, let him think that way. But as far as I am concerned, with body and mind, I consider in this way. He say now, E er tomar Anant Bebhava Mrit Sindhu Mor Van Mano Gamme Nahe Ek Bindu. So my Lord, your opulence is like the unlimited ocean of nectar. It is verbally and mentally impossible for me to realize even a drop of that ocean. So that Supreme Lord, which is absolute truth and everything emanates from Him. So that's the reason even in the Bhagavad Gita, when the opulence of the absolute chapter, in the last, Krishna describes what is my glories and opulent. And in the last, Krishna conclude, Yat yat vibhuti mat sattvam Srimad urjitam evava tat tat eva vigachattam mam tejom sambhavam. So whatever the beautiful, glorious, extraordinary you find in this world, mam tejom sambhava, as a one spark from this splendor. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and the glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. So that's the reason Krishna conclude, Athva bahu netena kim gyatena tavarjuna vistabhyaham idam krishnam ekamshen sthito jagat. So what is the use of, but what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment as myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Prabhupada says everything is working because Krishna has entered. Krishna has entered in the every material atom. And also is entered into the every spiritual atom. No? We are all spiritual atom. The Jiva is, Krishna has entered not only the material atom, entered into the even spiritual atom. So because Krishna has entered, everything is working. So that's the reason Prabhupada is writing beyond main capacity, how this whole thing is working on. And So Prabhupada is writing, generally people think spiritual means negation of material thing. So that is not the negation in that sense. He says, material varieties, spiritual no varieties. We have senses, Krishna should not have senses. We sleep, Krishna should not sleep. Our sleeping and Krishna's sleepings are different. We person, Krishna persons are different. Like Chetanas Chetananam. What is the first one? Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Ego Bhautati Vidhati. So one person, Krishna, he is taking care of everyone. So Sevak Bhagwan is only one Krishna. In Balaram is called Sevak Bhagwan. He is also serving Krishna. So Prabhupada is writing, Mahavishnu who rests in Yoga Nidra on the causal ocean and creating innumerable universes by his breathing process only temporarily appears in the Mahatattva for the temporary manifestation of material world. So that when the Mahavishnu comes, Mahatattva is not always. He comes, stay for a times and vanishes. This material world comes existence and goes off. It's not ever or it's not continuously existing. So Mahavishnu appears in Mahatattva, create universes, comes out, goes in body, again it disappears or unmanifest, manifest and unmanifest. So it says, only temporarily appears in the Mahatattva for the temporary manifestation of material world. And that Mahavishnu is being mentioned as a Kalaha, means plenary portion of Krishna. So that Krishna, that Vishnu's Nimisha is the lifetime of Brahma. So that Vishnu is portion of Krishna. So can you see the glories of Krishna is unparalleled. That Krishna, by his mercy, by his causeless mercy, he takes some time as a sevak mood to serve his devotees. Actually, Krishna is always in the mood of serving his devotee. Buddha says, as a devotee, always carry the mood to serve the Lord. Similarly, the Lord is always look after the opportunity to serve his dear unallied devotees. So we have read in many places how the Lord take the pleasure by serving his devotees. The Yashoda Maiya, Nand Maharaj, especially in the Golok Dham. So Supreme Lord, nothing can exist without. That Lord takes a small part. Once Nand Maharaj says, Yashoda, your Krishna is very naughty, he does not do any worthwhile thing. No, you ask whatever he will do. So Yashoda says, please take your or sleepers of Nanda Maharaj, cut out. So Lord is small, Lord, he put in his head and take that. So Lord take pleasure to serve his dear devotees. And sometime the gopis will ask, elderly gopi ask Krishna, please bring that wooden plank or that stool. So Lord may not able to carry, but still he push here and there. By seeing Krishna's that endeavor, they become very happy, and Krishna also become very happy. So if we have a pure consciousness to serve the Lord also become very unlimited, pleased by having such attitude, and Krishna blesses the devotees, and Krishna's and whole internal energy start working to serve that devotees. So that serving mood, if we have properly we carry, then we can achieve the mercy of Krishna. But Kunti Maharani says that pure attitude to serve Krishna will not arise if she mentions Janmeshwara Sruta Srivir Edaman Madhapaman Naivar Hart Abhidatum Vai Tam Akinchin Gocharam. So, my Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. If still we are looking for some material profit, some material enjoyment, then we cannot truly approach the Lord. So your Lordship can easily be approached only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. So unless we come out from bodily concept of life, we cannot approach with sincere feeling. Even Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, what is the verse? Bhogeswar prashaktanam tyapita chetasam vyushatmaka buddhi samadho nam vidhyate. Jasatma buddhi gunape tridhatu ke swavadhi kalitradishu bhom ijjiti yat tirtha buddhi salilim nakar hichit janeshu abhigyeshu saiva gokhara. So even Bhagavatam is mentioning is gokhara, is level of animal platform. If we are working on the material platform, so that condition is being mentioned. So in this particular verse, the description is being mentioned by that. Their idea is obtained by poor fund of knowledge. Now those who says, Lord, why? How can Lord can sleep? But his sleeping is not like us sleeping. When we sleep, we go to Tamagoda. And Prabhupada mentioned, I think something second, third canto. This whole material world is kind of dream of Mahavishnu. So his dreaming is not our dreaming. When we say a dream, it's not that kind of dream which it may be we can have some kind of crude analogy, but not a true dream. Is the real fact is happening. The illusion we say because it is temporary, but this is fact, brother. This is fact is there. The people are there. We are also there. So they think that existence of Supreme is just the opposite of active human existence. Because human being has senses, the Supreme must be without sense perception. Because the human being have a form, the Supreme must have formless. And because the human being sleeps, Supreme must not sleep. Srimad Bhagavatam, however, does not agree with such impulseless. So even Ishwapanishad says, devotee is praying to the Lord, please remove your effulgence, the Brahman effulgence, so that I can able to see a beautiful form. So Kumaras, they were the Brahman realized, even though Kumaras, they heard about beautiful features of the Lord from his father. His father Brahma is devotee. So he explained about the beautiful features of the Lord, but somehow he was only Brahman realized. But as we know, when he goes to the Vaikuntha, first, second, third, fourth, up to 6 gate he crossed. No one had asked anything, he stopped him. On the 7th door, he was stopped by Jai Vijaya. And because he was stopped, he had a great desire to see the Lord. Prabhupada right on the pulpit. But because his spiritual hankering was somehow stopped, he got angry. So that anger was not material anger. Even that, now all what we have is a pervaded reflection. Says, so all exists here, there also exists, but in the true form. So when they come angry and they have cursed to the Jai Vijaya, what happens? Lord got to know. No, he is a Antardhyam, he know everything. So immediately Lord comes along with Lakshmi Devi to the gate, where some dispute has happened between two set of devotees. So the Lord interfere and console both of them, and he asks Kumaras, please forgive me because my attendance or my doorkeeper offended you. So beautiful, the Lord, such a glorious, humble position being. If you read the purport, you see what the mood of the Lord. And when Lord comes, so in the beginning, Kumaras, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanat, Sant Kumar, they see the beautiful face of the Lord. And it being compared with the lotus flower, of the blue lotus flower. And they see the Lord, they were unsaged, they were completely merged by seeing the Lord. After seeing the face, they see the lotus feet of the Lord. And by seeing the beautiful nails of the Lord, is like a rubies. And when you read, it's unparalleled. When you read the purports and description given by Prabhupada, actually you transport yourself to the spiritual world. That's the beauty of hearing from a pure devotee. It takes you to that platform. And by hearing from the pure devotees, purify and awaken our dormant love for Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kapuno Shravanadi Suddha Chitta Kare Uday. So Shravanam is very important. Na mat chitta matagate prana buddhiyanta sparsh param katyanta chamam nityam. Nityam is always. The devotee, they always discuss about Krishna. There is no other work. Even in the spiritual world, Golok Dham, very prominent, one place for the right, Shravanam is very prominent. When Gopas comes back, anyway, when they are Krishna, they talks about Krishna glory. When they come back, they talks about Krishna glory to the parents. In the night when they were not able to sleep, and the night also they thinks of Krishna glory. So talking about Krishna, discussing about Krishna is very, very prominent. So that's the reason in the Bhagavatam, even all Vedic literature especially Bhagavatam, gives lot of prominence to Shravanam. Arjuna only heard about Krishna, his consciousness got changed. Parikshit Maharaj, 7 days he heard continuously. And he was so much absorbed in hearing, forget about eating, sleeping, and drinking. Na esha atadusha chudma taktodam abhipadyate pivantam tvam mukham bhojam achutam harikathamritam. So the Krishna's glories are so wonderful when heard from a pure devotees. It helps to come out from our deep ignorance and is awaken the Krishna's love for him. Nirvittatarshi guni manat bhav oshadat is oshadi and also it awaken it. So this wonderful description here being described by Maitreya to the Vidura, and further we saying he gives further more questions and answers. So this chapter is just ending after a few verses. So we'll be seeing much more glories of Krishna's pastime being described by pure devotees, and Maitreya and Vidura was even also both are the pure devotees. One devotee is explaining, and he was getting the ecstasy. Vidura will be seeing that by hearing such a glorious pastimes. I will stop here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jagat Guru Prabhupada ki कृष्णाय गौर प्रेम नंदे हरि हरि बोल।